It's a big moment, people. The Flyin Moose is debuting at his first race. We've done a little bit of testing. I think we got it all sorted out. We're at Daytona International Speedway, and it says right across the top of the grandstands, the world's center of racing. And the Flyin Moose. We're running a World Racing League race, that's WRL. And there's a lot of really nice cars here. And we've ended up right in between classes. So the first drama of the weekend is trying to get the Moose into the next lower class, which isn't that low. We'll be racing BMW 330s and Porsche Boxsters and Subaru BRZ, Toyota 86 type cars. I'm excited. We're just about to go out. I'm just about to change, take off my old Volvo shirt. It's not Happy Moose anymore. It's now the Flyin Moose. Well, we're going to go out on the high banks and find out if it flies. We're leaving pit lane and the Flyin Moose at Daytona International Speedway, which empties us right into the entry for turn 3. Straight hard brake, trail the brake and catch that yellow curving around the inside till it almost ends. Track out, touch the big yellow curve, and then go all the way to the yellow curving on the exit. Ease back across the road, check your mirrors, you're heading for the dog leg. Easy flat out in the 175 horse Moose. A real challenge in a fast car. Track out all the way right. Stay right. Drive straight out to the middle of the road under braking. Bring her smoothly down for a late apex. This is shaped like a church steeple. Tracks you out all the way to the yellow curving on the left. Check your mirrors back around the corner right. Brake at the crossover road. Trail the brake. Get your late apex. Go back to power. We're using all the road to keep our speed up. And we're heading for the bottom lane of the banking. Don't climb that banking in a less powerful car. Just slows you down. Run low. It's shorter. And you can send the faster cars by on the high side. If a faster car passes you low, you're in the wrong place, like one of my co-drivers here in the Moose is right now. Stay on the yellow and then track out. If somebody goes by, check your mirrors and try to get a little draft. You can see the mirrors or the wipers vibrating. We got a little toe off that Boxster, not much. Brake at almost the 1. Drive all the way across the yellow curbs on the way in. Slow in the middle, get pointed, then cross the yellow curbs on the way out, flat out if you do it right. Stay low, do not track out of the bus stop. Again, it's shorter when you run lower. That Boxster's a little closer than he looks. I'm trying to get a sniff of his draft. Running the high banks in NASCAR 4. We're now on the front stretch. I usually run right down on that yellow line, but I'm still hoping to get some kind of a sniff of a draft off that Boxster up there. Run low on the tri-oval. It's shorter. The Moose can go all the way to the end of the grass before you have to brake. I stay middle of the road for the camber on the road. Past the tires about 30 feet for an apex. We're tracking all the way out in the Moose. Easy flat through turn 2 in that car. It's power level. All the way back left to enter turn 3 again. Bring it down a little bit early and hug the inside. Tracking back out to the yellow curves, just touching them. That's a lap of Daytona. We got our first practice in. Flyin Moose ran great. Does not feel like it's flying compared to these WRL cars. There's so many great race cars here that are 300, 400, 500 horsepower. We're 200. So I'm out there looking for a 200 horsepower car to run with. All right, people, here we are, still in one piece. We're not fixing the car, we're bolting lead in it. We found that if we put 50 pounds plus 20 pounds of ice in that car for the cool shirt, we get to go to GP2. So they're only 5 seconds faster than us instead of 15 seconds faster than us. The Moose is kind of out of its element here at Daytona because it's hard to push that big square box through the air at top speed, but it's handling great. We found out what was going bang when you shift, and that makes me happy. A whole torque arm thing for the transmission was loose. Tighten that up. Car's running good. We qualified, I don't know where, not very well, but it was a lot of fun to drive, and it felt like it was going to do it for a long time. This race is 14 hours. Myself, Frank, and Jack are going to push that Moose as far as it'll go. Keep your fingers crossed, please. It was fun, except for one moment. one time going into 5, I also had pedal knockback. Yeah. Pedal went real low and it wouldn't stop. And my eyes were like, "Wah!" And I flipped sideways and slid.
That happened to me.
Yeah.
And I thought
knockback or the master or something scared the crap out of me. I hate for it to happen to either one of you either.
But I thought I had just missed the pedal or something.
No, me too.
Yeah, it could have been
frightening.
Knockback.
But I started tapping up. Sure to show I had a hell of a slide. You should see the skid marks. We got video. Race day, Daytona International Speedway. It's going to be amazingly cool today. For June in Florida, that means 82, 83 degrees, but 78% humidity. The race car is ready. The Moose is happy. It's ready to fly. We're on the grid. My buddy Jack Goldie's going to start the car, and we're just going to see what happens. A lot of work goes into it, but every time you end up with going under the green flag at the start, it's totally an adventure. It's like rolling the dice. You never know what's going to happen. So cross your fingers, everybody. The ride starts now. Well, we're incredibly disappointed because we were running good and we picked up a lot of ground when it rained. And Frank was out there running good. And then we had a clutch issue again like we did at VIR. There's something going on with our racing clutch assembly. And so now it's not going to work anymore. We don't have the parts to fix it. But then I started thinking, you know, the Volvo's got a really wide power band. It has good power way down at 2,000 RPM, and then it pulls all the way to 6,000. What if I just run one gear? Plus, I don't want to just sit here. So we're going to go out, and I'm going to try running the track in 4th gear only, never shifting. And if it's just too slow and like we get in the way, we're going to can it. But if it works, I'm going to do another stint. We're here. Let's go. I've been in your waters. I'm looking for sure. I've never been so close before. It's one way or the other. drama, what a roller coaster. Racing is like, hey, it's great. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's terrible. And I got back out 1 year. It was great. I mean, I had a great time. The Volvo pulls like a freight train from down low, like 2,000 RPM. So I ran, I believe, over an hour, a whole tank of gas, and I would just carry a ton of speed into the corner, and it handles beautifully, and then just floor it in fourth gear. And we'd be around 2,000 RPM, which is way low. And it would take a little bit for the boost to build, and then it would this wave of torque would build, and the car would drive off the corner, and it wasn't that much slower. I was within 3 seconds of my very best time with 1 gear. And the car doesn't really rev out that well, so we've been shifting at 5,200, and we just let it rev, or I just let it rev all the way to 6,000, the red line, and then lifted and held it there. Don't try this at home, I don't recommend it, but it was working. I had fun, turned good lap times, passed some people even. So that was all good. I came in, handed the car over to Frank. Poor Frank. If anything's going to go wrong, it's going to happen when Frank's driving. And I don't think he's doing it. I really don't. Although I want to ride with him and kind of see what's going on. But this one was crazy. He was going by the pits in front of us at top speed, 6,000 RPM in fourth. I don't even know what that is. I think it's about 120. And the drive shaft fell out. There's a rubber donut we usually call a guibo. BMW calls it a guibo. That thing must have broken, or something came apart in the front half of the two-piece drive shaft. And the drive shaft is now laying in the grass in front of the tri-oval here at Daytona International Speedway. If we stay here till 11 p.m., we can go pick it up. I don't know if it's worth anything. What it did was it came loose in the front, and half the drive shaft started like swinging like this in a circle, and it banged the transmission tunnel so hard it almost hit Frank in the leg. Thank goodness it didn't. It would have hurt him bad. But the tranny tunnel stopped it, and it hit where the radio was mounted, and the radio exploded into the cockpit. And Frank said he was pulling pieces of insulation material out of his helmet, but he's okay. The Moose is not going to be moving for a little while. We're going to have to push it on the trailer. We're going to head home, and hey, get ready for the next one. What can I say? We're not about to give up. Car had a lot of great moments in this race at Daytona with WRL. Really got to thank WRL, World Racing League, for being so good to us as hosts, getting us in this garage, #1, and getting us in the race. Frank Resiniti, the mechanic, my co-driver, Jack Goldie, my longtime good friend, who has many hours in the Happy Moose, and finally got a chance to try the Flyin Moose. We're going to take it home, put her back together, increase the horsepower, I promise you. In fact, there's a Mega Squirt in the works. Don't tell anybody, but we're going to get a Mega Squirt, standalone fuel injection and engine management on this thing, and we're going to come back better than ever.